Hello, Steve Mills here. Welcome back to my podcast. I'm now trying to really crank this podcasting thing up, I've been doing a podcast roughly about once a week. I'm now going to be 100% committed to a daily podcast. So if you subscribe to me, fantastic. If you don't yet, then subscribe, and I'm going to be churning out a shed load of really great ideas and ways in which you can grow your business. Today, I want to talk to you about success. Now, there are many definitions of success. I know that, success in your health and your relationships and in, your life and family and so on and so forth. But what I'm talking about here, on this occasion anyway, is success in business. So my question for you is, how come you're not already successful? Or at least you've not got the success that you'd really like. Now, maybe you have. Maybe you're successful beyond your wildest dreams. You aim to build £1 million business and you're now turning over 500 million. I don't know. If you are and that's you, then, well done. Fantastic. Come on my podcast and tell everybody how you did it. But if you're like most businesses, you started off as a business owner probably a few or perhaps many years ago, and you had great ideas. You were going to, make a load of money. Being a business owner, it was going to free you up, and you weren't going to have to work so hard. How's that working out so far? A very good friend of mine told me that when you run your own business, you only have to work half a day. He said, not only that, but you get to pick which 12 hours those are. And boy, is that true. I've been doing this now for 25 years. 12 hours is probably a short day for me. But do you know why I do it? Because I love it. I love being in business. I love the hustle and bustle and the competition of it and so on and so forth. But anyway, that's not really what I'm here to talk to you about. So, being more successful. Why aren't you more successful? That is such a great question for anybody and everybody to ask who wants to be more successful. Why not? What is it? What are the reasons behind it? Now, I'm sure there are many reasons. Competition, the state of the economy, Brexit, world economy, upsurges, downsurges, competition arriving. Mistakes that maybe you've made. There are lots of external reasons that it's very, very easy to blame. I don't have enough time. If only I had enough time. Let me tell you got the same amount of time as Richard Branson and all those other, successful world's leading entrepreneurs. So, it can't be the time. I actually believe that it comes down to your ability to sell and market your business. If you sold and marketed more stuff, more of your products, more of your services, as long as you're doing so at the right price, if you sold more, could that solve all your problems? Could it solve all your HR problems, your recruitment problems, the problems of you being too busy? Could it solve your financial problems in terms of paying the VAT and the tax and paying people? Could it solve all the problems almost in your life? Now, I know that's not quite true, because there's some things, that happen that, money can't solve. But what it can do is it can make you more of what you already are. In other words, if you're a kind, giving, loving, generous person, then you've got to be more to be kind, loving and generous with. If you're a tight, mean, horrible, self-centered person, then you've got more opportunities to be exactly who you are. So assuming you're a nice, generous, kind person, I want to help you get to the next level. So if this is about selling and marketing more effectively, about selling more stuff, and believe me, it is. There's only really two ways you can grow your business at the end of the day. One is to reduce sales. And when I say grow your business, I'm talking about growing your profit here, making more profit. One is to reduce costs. You can reduce your costs and increase your profit, obviously. But you can only reduce costs by a small amount, be that, 10%, 20% maybe, maybe only 5%. But you can increase sales to whatever level you want, so if increasing sales is the key to your success, then there are 3 ways of doing that. One is you've got to get more people in the door, increase the number of customers. 2 is to increase the average transaction value. So that's the average amount of money customers spend each time they buy from you. And 3 is to increase the frequency of purchase, to get them coming back more often. And if they're the 3 ways, then, my question for you again is, which one's the hardest to do? And the answer is, number 1, getting more customers. It is much easier to sell to somebody who you've already sold to, so in other words, get them to come back more often, or to get them to buy additional products or services than it ever is to sell somebody who doesn't know you, like you, or trust you, and you have no clue whether they've got a need, whether they've got the money, whether they've got the will, whether they've got a current supplier. So, that being the case, it makes total sense to me that you should be looking at how you can market yourself to your current customers more effectively, and also past customers, people who bought from you once, perhaps a few years ago, and you need to make sure that you're maximizing your potential. So, from this podcast, there could be some low-hanging fruit here in terms of, why don't you go back to your old customers and just reconnect with them again? Make a list of everybody that used to buy from you, and go and contact them and ask them really 2 questions. 1, is there anything you can do for them right now? And 2 is, who do they know that they think you could help in the same way that you did them? And that little exercise alone made one of my clients grow his business by 40% within 12 months. All he did is go back to his past customers and picked up the phone and said, "Hi, it's me. Just calling to see if there's anything you want right now. And by the way, who do you know that might be interested in what we do?" 40% growth in their business. And this is not like a business turning over 20 grand. This is a business turning over, I think at the time, about 40,000 a month. And they grew by 40% within 12 months just by going back to their customers. So, a good example there. So if that's the case, if becoming more effective at selling and marketing your business is a good thing to do, which it is, assuming you want to grow your business, then how are you going to do that? Well, what you've got to do is literally, I know this is really basic and obvious, but it's something that 90% of business owners don't do, excuse me, and that is to become better at selling and marketing. In other words, to train yourself, to attend training courses, to read books, to listen to podcasts, to watch videos, to go on courses, to do whatever it takes to become better at selling and marketing your products and services. Let me just give you some examples. How good are you at remarketing? Remarketing. You know what that is, don't you? And if you're like most businesses that I speak to, you don't know what I'm talking about right now. But how good are you at remarketing? What about Facebook pay-per-click advertising? How well do you know that? How do you do you know how to do that? What about remarketing on LinkedIn? Are you any good at that? What about sponsored content on LinkedIn? What about YouTube advertising via video? How good are you at that? And if the answer to that is, well, I either don't know what you're talking about, Steve, or, I'm not very good at it and I've no clue how to do it at all, then, there's an opportunity for you. In fact, there's a massive opportunity for you. And also, I hope there's a kick up the pants, a kick up the arse to say, this is not good enough. I run a business, even if you outsource your marketing to somebody else, you've got to be good enough, you've got to know enough to know what good looks like. No excuse, there's no excuse in the world for getting to a level where you just go, oh, well, I'll outsource that. You can outsource it, that's a good thing to do perhaps, but if you don't know what good looks like, then that's a problem. I'll give you a great example. A client of mine, the day we came on board, I said, what have you done in terms of SEO, search engine optimization? He said, you don't need to worry about that, Steve. We've got a company that does that for us. So I said, fantastic, great news. What are they doing? He said, well, they do SEO. Now, I've heard people do SEO and I've heard people do SEO. And what I mean by that is that is almost like the dark art. It's like leave the SEO to us, SEO experts. You don't want to get involved in that. It's very technical. The truth is I could teach somebody to do SEO very, very easily, very, very quickly. The problem with SEO is what people do varies enormously. And so this client of mine, I asked him, so how much are you paying for the SEO? Because I've heard people say things like, well, I've got somebody who does the SEO, and when I ask how much they're paying, they say, well, it's £40 a month. They're clearly not doing very much. But this guy didn't. He said, well, it's £2,000 a month. I said, oh, wow, that's a big investment. Yeah, £2,000 a month to do the SEO. Yes, he said. I said, and how long have you been doing that? He said, well, 6 months. Okay, so you spent 12 grand on SEO. Yes, he said. I said, right, let's come up with 20 words that we can check out on Google. So we went and spent about 10 minutes coming up with 20 words or phrases that he wanted to be found on Google that were his keywords. And we went on to Google and we checked them out. Now, long story short, he wasn't on the first page. In fact, he wasn't even on the second or the third page on any of those keywords. And I said, what is this company doing? And he said, well, it's the SEO. I said, yeah, but actually physically, do you know what they're doing? And he said, well, it's sort of search engine stuff. I said, look, do you or do you not know what you're paying this company to do physically? I know they're doing SEO, but what are they actually doing? He said, I don't know. I said, well, they're not doing a great deal. They're not doing a great deal of success, certainly. You spent £12,000 and basically you've got nowhere. So we need to look at this and we need to think about what we're doing. Now, the truth of the matter is, and why I tell you that story, is that it's not that outsourcing SEO or even paying £2,000 a month is wrong. What was wrong is him not having a clue what he was buying. Not a clue. He knew he was buying SEO and that's all he knew. He knew it was going to get him up the search engines, but he had no idea what this company were doing. He had no idea whether they were any good at it. And he woke up 6 months later having spent £12,000 with a company that had produced 0 results for him. And that's never a good thing. So you need to educate yourself in being better at selling and marketing your products and services. And when I say selling and marketing, don't neglect the selling. Okay? Don't neglect selling. I'm a marketer. I talk a lot about marketing. Lead generation's the thing. You want to be good at creating leads. But you know what? The biggest potential out there that you've probably got in your business is to become better at selling. Become better at selling. Let me do some figures with you. Let's say you get 100 leads. just so we can use percentages. Now that could be 100 leads a day, 100 leads an hour, 100 leads a month, 100 leads a year. Whatever it is, over a time span, you get 100 leads. And let's say right now that you convert 4 out of 10. So out of those 100 leads, you got 40 sales. Okay, 4 out of 10, not bad. What would happen to your business if by training your sales team in improving conversions, by setting up a system, a sales system in your business that was proven to work again and again and again like clockwork, and then you improve that sales system again and again, and you implemented training again and again and again, and people got better and better and better. If you manage to improve those conversion rates from 40% to, let's say, 60% over, I don't know, maybe a 6-month period. Over 6 months, you went from 40% conversion to 60% conversion. What would happen to your business over the next, let's say, 12 months? Well, what would happen is that without generating any more leads, without spending any more money on salespeople, without doing anything other than training your team or yourself or both in becoming better at selling, you would grow your business by 50%. 50% growth in your business from a 20% increase in your sales conversion rate, going from 40% to 60%. Yeah, 60 is 50% more than 40, if you're with me with the maths there. And you could, massively grow your business by taking the time and the effort to do so. But you know what? I went on a training course. It was a conference, actually. I was speaking at it. I was one of the speakers. I was talking about LinkedIn and lead generation. I was talking about following up people on LinkedIn. And I just happened to ask people, there was about 150 people in the room. And I said, just have a show of hands. Hands up who's responsible for sales. Virtually got 150 hands. Okay, so hands up who's done any sales training in the last year. I got about 20 hands. So most of the room for a year hadn't done any sales training. Now I do sales training every day. Why wouldn't I? I do a little bit of sales training every day. Not a day's training, obviously. Might only be 20 minutes, but every day I do something. Take some action to improve and get better and better. How good are you at presenting your products? How good are you at closing the sale? How good are you at overcoming objections? How good are you at body language and reading people and all the things that you need to be good at in order to be a real master at selling your services and your products? How good are you right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, if I asked you, right, with 1 being I'm absolutely awful, 5 being I'm average, I'm the same as everybody else, and 10 being I'm unbelievably brilliant, I'm an absolute master at selling, where are you? Because if you're the same as everybody else, let me tell you one thing, it ain't good enough. Just examine the results that most businesses get. Most businesses are struggling to survive. Most salespeople are not making anywhere near the commission that they could. Sorry, it's coughing again. And so, I want you to take you and your business to the next level. And, if you're with me on that, you want to make significant, I'm not talking about like a 5% increase in your business, I suppose, unless you turn over like, 50 million or something, that's pretty good. But if you're a small business, you're perhaps a startup, you're turning over, 50 grand, 100 grand, £500,000, something like that. I want you to really make significant growth in your business this year. And I'd love to help you. What I want you to do is I want you to have a little bit of faith. I want you to have a little bit of faith in me and in you. And I want you to have the faith that to sign up and join what I call my results coaching program. Results coaching program. It's about what? It's about getting better results. It's about improving each and every element of your sales and marketing. And it's about taking your business to the next level. And I'd like you to, perhaps give me a call, talk to me about it. We can meet up. I don't expect you to go on and buy it as a direct result of listening to this podcast, although, if you want to, please feel free to go ahead. But the first step, what I recommend you do is go and take a look at it. It's on my website. It's called Results Coaching. It's down under the section called Services. So if you go to www.stevemills.co, then you'll be able to check it out. And then the next step, once you've had a look at the program, is to, you can do one or two things. You can either call me and say, look, I want to book on the program. Or if you wanted to meet up, then there's a section there called Book a Free Results Review, which is a 1 hour session with me. There's no obligation. There's no hard sell. I'll just find out about your business, see if I think you're compatible. If you are, and if I believe you're committed and you're really going to take action to grow your business, and that's down to you to convince me that that's the case, because I don't want to have people on the program who don't take action. There's no point doing that, because they'll soon get fed up and think it's a waste of time, and that's not good for me. It's not good for my reputation. So I want people who are going to succeed, who are going to take action on the program. So that being the case, go and book your meeting, your one-to-one with me. As I say, it's under the section on my website called Free Results. I'm not sure it's Results Meeting or Results Review, something like that. But you'll see it along the banner at the top. And I look forward to working with you. So that's all I've got to say for now. And I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Please, if you've not already done so, sign up for my podcast. You'll get every single podcast every day with great tips. This is quite a long one. They're normally about only, 10 minutes-ish. I like to keep them nice and short. I've gone on for just over 20 minutes on this one. But if you're still with me, then hopefully you've enjoyed it and you'll sign up for the podcast. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon.